Now, I'll just introduce myself. My name's Duncan Tincello. I'm the chair of the Board of Trustees at Brendan's Bridge. And I started in July when we appointed quite a few new trustees. I have my colleague on the call with me, Pip. Pip, would you like to say hello?
Hi. Yes.
That's Pip. Pip Williams is our youngest trustee. I'm probably our oldest trustee, come to think of it. So we've bracketed all the trustees between us. And Jane asked if Pip and I would welcome you all. So ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, welcome to you all to our party this evening, and say a little bit about who we are and why we're rebranding. So Pip, who are we, Brendan's Bridge?
So Brendan's Bridge was previously known as Bridge Training Resources until we rebranded. We've been around for about 30 years and we help young people and other different communities around Gloucestershire.
Brilliant, thanks Pip. And the other question Jane wanted us to kick off with was just to explain a little bit about why we are rebranding and relaunching Brendan's Bridge. Pip, why are we rebranding?
So we're rebranding for a few reasons. One is to meet the new objectives of our charity, to modernise what was already existing, and then to create more of a separation from Bridge Training itself.
Yeah, so we're more distinct from Bridge Training Limited. Brilliant, thanks very much, Pip. Jane, I'd hand back to you now.
Hello, and thank you to Pip and Duncan. Pip is our youngest trustee, as we just said, and she's come to us really bringing with her a role that is supported by her experience of being a young carer and of many challenges that she's faced over the last few years. And it's just great to have that expertise on our Board of Trustees. And she's one of our youngest special guests that are here today. My name is Jane Dyer. I'm the fundraising and marketing manager for Brendan's Bridge. And I'm also a youth outreach worker, and that literally means working frontline with the young people. Also with us this evening, we have some more very special guests. And I'm not actually check whether I've seen one of them appear tonight, but hoping to be with us was Yasmine Bannerman. And Yasmine, yes, she is actually. Hi, Yasmine.
Hello, hi.
You are, I thought you were there.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, Yasmine? You're joining us.
I'm very good.
Now? Is that right?
Sorry?
You're joining us from Germany still.
I am indeed. I'm joining you from the unvaccinated Germany.
Oh, yes, that's right. Well, we wish you safe, definitely. Yasmine is known as an actor famous for Hollyoaks and Doctor Who, and we are very privileged to say that she is our patron. She supports young people very much so and believes in supporting young people. And she was part of an interview with a young volunteer called Seb. So if you do visit our YouTube channel, you'll see Seb interviewing Yasmine earlier, a few months ago, really, wasn't it, Yasmine?
Yeah, it was indeed. Yeah, it was. Seb did a really good job. I was very impressed and we had a lot of fun.
It was very good of you to do that. Thank you, Yasmine. And we'll come back to Seb later, definitely. But Yasmine is from Gloucester. She attended St. Peter's High School, and we do hope that you come and visit us in person soon. We're getting there, aren't we? We're almost getting there, but we need you guys vaccinated first, so we'll see you soon. Thank you, Yasmine, for attending today.
Thank you.
And our other very special guest with us today is the High Sheriff of Gloucestershire, Helen Lovett. Hi, Helen. I know that you waved at us somewhere along the line. You there, Helen? Can you wave? She's probably waving, yes. Move, I think. So Helen is going to speak to us later. So Duncan will come back to Helen if that's okay. But she's there resplendent in her High Sheriff's outfit, which I know she hasn't had many opportunities to wear over the past year, but we're delighted that she could attend us today. So with help today from Connor, I'm going to now say, let's introduce Brendan's Bridge.
Brendan's Bridge. On the 13th of January 2021, the Charity Commission ratified and agreed our name change to Brendan's Bridge. The road to this name change was built on months of hard work, administration, and dare I say, anguish. We are so pleased that this name change will reflect our new charitable aims, beneficiaries, and reach of our services. The charity, within its planning for a reboot, did not plan to be launching itself and promoting a new service within a pandemic. We found ourselves stepping up to provide critical support to people facing complex social issues, supporting people who face heightened risks around COVID-19, such as people with mental ill health, people who are more vulnerable to being infected because of weakened immune systems due to dependency, young people with mental ill health, or individuals affected by domestic abuse for whom staying at home or self-isolation heightens risk and harm. More people are seeking our help, and their needs are multi-layered. We have had to rapidly adjust how we operate, turning services and support that were all about social contact into something online and remote. This required more resources, time, expertise, and equipment. Fortuitously, we have been active in local communities for many years, and our visible community practitioners were able to utilize within the charity our specialist knowledge, expertise, and rootedness in communities to ensure that we were able to reach and respond to some of the highest risk individuals which other agencies fail to reach. The charity also increased the range of support they are providing, including around increasing mental ill health and anxiety, and meeting immediate basic needs, particularly around food, finance, and loneliness. Youth work support and mentoring remains the core of our activities, and we have also been keeping as many of our wellbeing group activities running as we can virtually, via Zoom and other platforms. This includes virtual creative sessions such as arts and crafts, and we are now looking at options around a virtual drop-in, remote yoga sessions, and a range of other activities. We are trialling a variety of interventions, and this is uncharted territory. But with the right amount of creativity and equipment, we are confident that we can continue to provide remote services to help people at a time when they need support the most. We are excited about our future. Love from Jackie and Jane.
I think I must be the one on the left, Jackie, now. We hope also that we'll be delivering those services face-to-face very soon. Our new name, Brendan's Bridge, is a nod to Brendan Harrod, our founder. Brendan passed away a few years ago, but his son, Mark Harrod, is a member of our new board of trustees and has been fundamental in the setting up of our charity. Mark, perhaps you'd like to tell us a little bit now about your dad and about the inspiration behind our charity.
Thank you, Jane. As you've only given me a few minutes, I've tried to make it as brief as possible. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mark Harrod.
See you, Mark?
Sorry?
Can we see you? We can't see you.
Of course you can. I just didn't know if people wanted to see my ugly mug or not. I knew you would. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, this is me. I don't know if I'm in the top right or the top left for you, but I'm in the top left for me. As I said, my name is Mark Harrod. I am a trustee of Brendan's Bridge. And I must say a proud trustee of Brendan's Bridge. I'm also the managing director of Bridge Training Limited, which is the training arm. And I'm a former employee of Bridge Training Resources. I started with the company back in 1993, just for a short stop. And it seems to have gone on a little bit longer than I expected. I've been asked to give you a brief a brief overview of the charity that was started by my father. Back in the mid 80s, my dad realized that there was quite a gap for people who had physical and mental issues. They brought out a scheme which was called Care in the Community, where it was bringing adults out of residential homes out into society to get jobs and live independently. What they didn't do was they didn't give them the skills to budget. They didn't give them the skills to cook. They didn't actually give them anything they could do during the day, whereas previously they were in a home being looked after. So he put together a charity that would actually give people skills for day-to-day living. He realized that a lot of the people didn't have the skills to go out and get sustainable employment. They didn't have the ability or the suitability to go into a mainstream college. But the problem was their abilities were too great to go into an adult occupation centre. So where could they go? What could they do? So he invested an awful lot of time, an awful lot of time into setting up the charity. The objective of the charity was to give participants the support that they needed to gain qualifications and work experience. But the main thing was about giving them those opportunities in a non-pressurized environment. We're sort of in a society today where we've all got to make goals and we've got to get achievements and we've got to hit our targets. And the one thing that my dad always stood back and said that, you know, you put pressure on people and that they're just not going to succeed at the rate that they should. So we invested time in getting funding. Barnwood House Trust was a big funder of the charity back in the 90s. And he set up a canteen which he could teach people how to cook, teach people how to use a microwave. And at that time, pot noodle wasn't a big one. So, you know, it was about them being able to budget. They had a limited amount of money if they were in supported housing. And he would teach them to do budgeting. Computers were just coming out in the 90s. So, you know, there was all this talk about these amazing things called computers. So, you know, we had people who had disabilities and they were teaching others how to use computers, how to use a word processor. He soon realized that people wanted to do outdoor stuff as well. So he introduced gardening. Barnwood House Trust offered us facilities in Churchdown, which had large sort of greenhouses and so on, where they could grow vegetables and flowers. And they sort of learned those really, really sort of useful skills to sort of take them forward. The other thing they brought on was the carpentry. Carpentry seemed to be a real interest for a lot of the adults that we worked with. And it grew into sort of building the skills of how to lay slabs and how to trim hedges and so on. But as time went by, the charity was becoming more and more pressurized. We had contracts with government sources, the Employment Service then, Job Centre Plus now. And it was all about getting progress for our cohort. And making sure that, you know, we were meeting success rates and achievement rates, and we were being compared with colleges and so on. So it got to the stage where our learners were being pushed to succeed. If we wanted to exist, we had to push. So before long, we actually got to the stage where we just had to withdraw. We weren't in the position to compete with mainstream students who were, you know, level 1, level 2, level 3. So we withdrew from Job Centre Plus contracts and we concentrated on youth contracts. However, this was then contravening the Articles of Association with the charity because it was set up for adults. So the charity sort of sat back for a while, and Bridge Training Limited, the company that we work with now, works with young people aged 14 to 19. And it's those people who have had barriers to education or in education. And for a lot of them, they've really, really struggled in education. You know, we're in that situation where everybody's got to succeed. 5 GCSEs at, what is it, level 4, level 4 and above. Well, not everybody can aspire to that. You know, when you've got an awful lot going on at home or in your personal life, it's just not possible. So the ethos from my father that he set throughout the charity still maintains today in Bridge Training Limited, and it's something that will never change. It's all about working with the young people and working on the issues that they have before we start pressurizing them for qualifications and jobs and, you know, all the success targets that we have. One of the biggest things we've found, and it's only been sort of in the last 5 or 6 years, is that if we can address the needs of these young people and start working on the barriers that they have, we can actually start to make those aspirations that they come into us with, you know, those dreams of being a nurse or a mechanic or a bricklayer or whatever it is. If we can actually break down those barriers and give them the tools that will equip them to move forward, and if they can actually believe in it, they will make a success of it. We've tried other agencies to work with the mental health issues that the young people have, and it's been successful to a point. However, and this is the good part that you're all waiting to hear, that Brendan's Bridge, Nikita and Jackie and Jane have those skills where they can sit down with the young people and actually educate them and give them the tools to work with the difficulties they have. Sometimes listening to somebody's problems doesn't actually take them away. It makes it a little bit easier. But the one thing we've found is with our students that, especially Jackie and Nikita, are actually giving them tools to cope with those dark days. And the feedback I've had is that our students are really, really feeling the benefit. And, you know, if they had mental health issues prior to COVID-19, imagine what it's been like throughout it. And it just seems as though a lot of our students have been equipped and have made the progress that we need for them to actually start seeing the benefits of education. I am committed to maintaining my position on the trustees board for as long as they will have me. The donations I have made, I know have made a difference to the charity, and I will continue to make those donations. And I hope that Brendan's Bridge and the employees within will continue working with our students, because I know they need it and they want it. And I just hope that tonight they actually get the acclaim and the success that they all deserve. And I can only thank you for inviting me to this tonight. And I'm sorry I've droned on, but it's just important that you know where it's come from, and it's not changed. And I hope it just won't change and it continues to help people. Thank you for listening to me, everybody. I'll go on mute now.
Thank you, Mark. I'm hoping the spotlight disappears, but for some reason, you're still there. So bear with me while I just try to adjust that. Connor. I'll continue anyway. Thank you very much, Mark. And yes, as you've rightly said, we're looking forward to continuing to work with students at Bridge Training Limited. But our independence obviously means that now we can work far afield and reach more young people through our youth work and the mental health support that Nikita and Jackie are offering. But the one other gift that we kind of moved away from Archdeacon Street, where we were originally based, into Cityworks, where we're now situated and where we now have a counselling room and an office for our team. And when we left there, the one other thing that the Harrod family supported us on was that we're very grateful to say that we also had our logo designed by the Harrod family and by Mitch Harrod. So Connor, if you'd like to just share that logo, we'd like you to remember it. It's what we're going to see, hopefully, throughout our social media following our relaunch today. So thank you to all your support and everything you've done to the Harrod family. We've been privileged during our rebranding of this charity to have a number of young volunteers involved in this work. You've already heard from Pip, one of our trustees, and we'd also like to mention Megan Spires. Megan, are you there? Can you wave? Yes, you are. I can see you just there, down there. Megan is 17 and she's designed the invitations that you received, or most of you received. Some of you, sorry, didn't. If you did, if you got your electronic invite. But the artwork on there is some of the work by Megan, who I have known for a while, and she's just been fantastic in providing that. Thank you, Meg, for your work. You're going to see more of that, because as we develop our website, brendansbridge.org.uk, you'll see the real personality of our charity come through with help from Megan. Another of our volunteers who's here with me and has literally been my right-hand person through this whole thing today is Connor. Connor, give us a wave. Thank you, Connor. And I think some of you from Fair Shares know Connor because he's also volunteered with you. Connor came to us because we're supporting him, like we are many young people, to overcome some of those challenges that young people are facing, but also with his employability skills. But he has taken like a duck to water to social media at the moment. So he's been volunteering over the past week. He put together the strategy for all of those things that some of you will have seen go out on Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. And today he's operating the Zoom for me because I started having a bit of a panic attack when I had to talk and fiddle with buttons at the same time. So thank you, Connor. And then the other volunteer that we need to mention today is 14-year-old Sebastian Loveridge, Sebi, who, as I just mentioned, had interviewed Yasmine earlier a few months ago. He came to us looking for some volunteering opportunities for his Duke of Edinburgh Award. And so we made him our positivity ambassador. We felt everybody needed a bit of cheering up through these dark times. And so he couldn't make it tonight, but he has sent us this little video.
Hello, how have you been today? Maybe a bit sad? Well, here's some jokes to liven you up. Why was the Easter Bunny sad? Because he was having a bad hair day. What do you get when you pour hot water into a rabbit hole? Hot cross bunnies. And finally, what is the Easter Bunny's favourite music? Hip hop.
That's Seb, thank you. One other volunteer that I'd like to introduce now through her video is Amy Lansberg. Amy has been working with another of our trustees, John Holland, and together they are developing our work with and for the LGBTQ community. This is Amy's video.
Hi there, my name's Amy. I'm a trans activist, memoir writer, and a volunteer at Brendan's Bridge. I'm preparing to start a writing group for young trans people in Gloucestershire, helping them to tell their stories and speak their truths. All too often, trans people in the UK are forced to play it safe, hiding their identities for fear of persecution. The average trans person spends 7 years in the closet before they come out, and even once we come out, shaking off that ingrained fear is hard. But when we share community together as trans people, when we can feel seen and heard and truly understood, that's when the magic happens. That's when we learn how to truly be ourselves. I want to create a safe, creative and playful space where young trans people can practice telling their stories. It's not about deadlines or word count or any other sort of criteria. It's about sharing the warmth and comfort of a campfire together as a community, because for some people it's that warmth and comfort that helps them to get through the hard times, and for others it's that safe place where they can practice telling their stories that helps them get ready to share with the world. Thank you for listening.
And now, a brief message from our CEO.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight at our launch. It's really good to see you all. Wow, what a year we've had. Exciting, thrilling and alarming. Launching during the pandemic wasn't what we planned, but we've actually come out all right the other end. COVID sort of played into our strengths a little bit, because we had the unique skills and quick response time that's actually needed. I'm just going to share with you a few sort of stats to see how we've gone in the last year. We delivered 90 hours of advice and guidance. This is mainly around mental health, finance, housing and well-being. We had 54 clients into our chat service, which is community health and talking therapies. This therapy is counselling plus, we call it. So it's counselling, which can be psychodynamic, person-centred and solution-focused with CBT and DBT, alongside sort of self-management and coping skills and outcome planning. We had 18 critical referrals for domestic violence, emergency accommodation and substance abuse. Within that, we had 7 safeguarding referrals. Alongside this, we had our charitable services. So we also distributed food and shopping vouchers, a lot of household goods, baby clothes for young people that required baby clothes, and clothing and shoes. So we had quite a busy year. Where next? We've got some other services running alongside this. Besides our telephone and text service, which has been really successful, we've been asked to implement a parents group to support parents who are caring for young people who are experiencing anxiety, depression and self-harm. We've also, this year, we're going to appoint soon a mental health practitioner to help us with young people. We've got a research project coming up, which is really exciting, working with the University of Western England on young people mental health and nutrition. We're looking forward to a young person joining us on Kickstart, and another young person as an apprentice this year. Lots of good things ahead. It's exciting, and it couldn't have been done without sort of yourselves, our friends and supporters. So enjoy the rest of the evening. Look forward to the good times ahead. We look forward to meeting up with you in 2021. Fingers crossed. Take care. Bye.
We certainly do look forward to meeting up with you in real life. As an organisation supporting young people and communities, we're committed to collaborative working. We aim to develop our charity and services with young people. We're privileged to have so many really talented young people who've been working with us, but who we are supporting as well. Ellie Scrivens is one such young person. She has worked with me in the past, and she approached us a few months ago with the offer to write a song for us. Now, she wrote that song, and I hope you'll agree that it is a really beautiful piece of music, and I'm looking forward to introducing you to that. But it didn't stop there, because she then joined a number of the young people that we are supporting, and together Brendan's Bridge and the Music Works worked in collaboration to run 3 workshops around producing that piece of music. Now that's not quite ready yet, and so we're hoping that we can actually reveal that fully produced song to you once we've been in the recording studios. We're going to go over to Jolt, the brand new recording studio that's been developed in King Square by the Music Works, and take some young people with us. And when that song is fully produced, then we hope to bring you back and properly have tea and a celebration with you perhaps. But this evening, we would like to show you the initial version sung by Ellie. We think this is the best way that we can demonstrate to you the story of the young people who we support, who are facing more than ever those challenges with mental health, still physical disability, learning disabilities and more, and who just want to be heard and supported on their journey.
I'd wish for small things, a house, a home, a warm and comfy bed. If I had hope, I'd hope for just a little help, for someone just to hear what's in my head. They say charity begins at home, but what if home has never been? gets heard and everyone's seen, but I'm wondering if anyone sees me. And if I could sleep, I dream about a better life, a family and friends who really care. And then when I woke, I daydream about happy things, and then I know I'd never feel this scared. They say charity begins at home, but what if home has never been for me? Love is all you really need, but what if love was never meant to be? Everybody's voice gets heard and everyone's seen, but I'm wondering if anyone sees me. If I could yearn for who I wanted to become, it would be someone who people really see, and my voice would rise above the chaos and the noise. I'd be a better, brighter me. They say that charity begins at home, but what if home has never been for me? Love is all you really need, but what if love was never meant to be? Everybody's voice gets heard and everyone's seen, but I'm wondering if anyone sees me. If I had a wish, I'd wish for a friend, somebody I know could see me through. I would never be alone if I had you. Do you believe that wishes can come true? 'Cause I believe that wishes can come true.
Oh, lovely.
How wonderful. Thank you very much. Ellie, I think that's gorgeous. I really like that song. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to introduce our Gloucestershire's High Sheriff, Helen Lovett. During her past year in office, Jane's been telling me that Helen has very much focused on young people who've had a challenging start to life. Helen very much understands the work we're doing at Brendan's Bridge. Helen, good evening. And could you please tell us a little bit about your work, in particular the ACES programme that I know you're committed to?
Well, yeah, and actually, Ellie, that was stunning. And you didn't bring a mascara warning with it. And it was just so emotional and just incredible what you did there, Ellie. And well, in fact, it just reflected so many of the messages the stories that I've heard, and they're not just stories, they're real life situations. So the role of High Sheriff, for some of you who don't know, is really around the law and order agenda. And for my year, I've really been focusing on hopefully keeping young people away from the criminal justice system. I belong to something called Action on ACES panel. And for some of you, I'm sure, aware what ACEs are. They're adverse childhood experiences. And it's the key to supporting young people, and in fact, indeed adults, is through trusted relationships. And that's what I hear from tonight that Bridge Training Brendan's Bridge, getting it right, Brendan's Bridge are focusing on, is forming those trusted relationships, which are absolutely critical to change the outcomes of young people's lives. That And it's starting with you believing in them so that they can believe in themselves. And each and every one of us has gifts, and you mentioned gifts earlier, and that's so important that they realize that they have skills and talents that they can share, and that one day they can make a difference to people's lives. So, and with that, I'd like to extend my thanks to all of you at Brendan's Bridge, the Nikita, to Jane, to Jackie, to all of the trustees, and to the volunteers, and particularly the young volunteers, because they're already recognizing that through their work, they can make a difference, not only to themselves, but to others. And yeah, it's just, it comes from my heart. And even when I finish as High Sheriff, and I'm not sure when that's going to be now for reasons that I can't go into, but it's just that supporting that mental health agenda is vital in our community. And I coined at the beginning of the pandemic what I saw and noticed within the work in Gloucestershire, which are my 3 C's, which is community, and you are your own community at Brendan's Bridge. And it's about compassion. That's second C. And you've also described how you're collaborating. So thank you to all. I will continue the relationship. And Jane and I have known each other for a long time. And I'm just, I'm hooked. So thank you. And I'm delighted to be able to support your work in whatever way I can. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Helen. Those lovely words, and they're very much appreciated, I'm sure, by everyone on our team. Oh gosh, ladies and gentlemen, I think that pretty much brings us to the end of our evening. It falls to me to thank everyone who's contributed this evening, and thank you all also for all of your support. And I speak on behalf of our core team, Jane and Jackie, and I'm sure you join with me in thanking them for all the hard work they've done. Because we're on a Zoom call, I thought we would end with a thank you, and I could give you the opportunity, everyone on the call, to unmute yourselves and thank them in the traditional way by giving everyone who's contributed a round of applause. So I'll say my own thanks and good night to you all, and I invite you all to unmute yourselves and join me in a round of applause before Jane closes the call. Good evening and thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane.
Have a good night. I'm going to go to bed now.
Well done.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well done.
Oh, well done, Jane.
Thanks, Jackie.
Well done, Jack. Well done, Nikita. Okay. I'm going to
Good
go.
work. Cheers. We go.
Well, see you, Mr. Briley.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you. And that song was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Nick.
Bye. Bye, Nick. Bye. I can't get myself off this. Right, I'm going. I know I'm going. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Verona. Sorry you were late.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did say I was going to be late. I can watch the recording. Can I? You can say.
Yes, I will. I'll send you.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Let's talk soon.
I came just to catch that beautiful song by Ellie.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye now.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jenny.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Yes.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Safe journey home, everyone.
Francis left his camera on.
Jenny's done too. There you go. I can. Yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't that bad.
And relax. Well done, you lot. Top work.
Okay, 3/4 of an
Very
hour.
impressed. Very
You got to do
professional.
it. Well done, Connor.
Yes.
It's not recording.